This is week 49, and these are my words. This week, I wanted to talk a little bit about self-talk. I touched on that a little bit last week, but I really think that the way we communicate with ourselves and the mental pattern dialogue that we have going on inside really has a huge effect on our whole experience of life. One of the things that I learned pretty much at the beginning of my schooling when I was getting my hypnotherapy degree was that your mental sort of state and your physiognomy, your physical state is very much linked. And you can do certain things to change one by affecting the other. So something as simple as smiling or looking up can raise your emotional state, and something as simple as changing your emotional state from within can affect your physical state. Oftentimes we get sick when we're down and depressed, or, we start to see recurrences of things based on how we feel. And if we're in a bright, sunny, optimistic mood and we're looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, everything seems to be great and we feel good and it just seems to be going our way. And when we're down in the dumps and don't feel very good, everything seems awful and terrible and bad and is a problem. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the self-talk that we use, because sometimes those are triggered by external things, but a lot of times they're triggered by internal things. And I think the way that we treat ourselves and how we mentally dialogue with ourselves is very important. A lot of times in psychotherapy and things like that, they talk about the man in your hallway, the little man inside, your internal voice, the voice in your head, things like that, which are a compilation of things that we've learned. We take a little bit of what our mom said or what our dad said or what our teacher said or what our peers said, and we sort of create this kind of little voice that is the voice of reason that tries to keep us on the straight and narrow and has us adhere to morals and codes and values, which is all very important. But it also sometimes accepts beliefs and ideas that are not necessarily inherent to ourselves, but simply a product of our environment and the things that other people around us think. If our parents have different values than we have, we may adopt those when we're younger simply because it's all we know, and later in life when we question that, there's still a little voice that says, no, that's not how you do it, even if we've come to the conclusion logically that there's a different way of doing things. And I think this self-talk that we have, the way that we communicate with ourselves, is very important. And I find that the nicer I am to myself, the more I congratulate myself and celebrate my wins and am kind to myself mentally, the happier my life experience is, the more I enjoy interacting with other people, and the better I feel. And when I'm negative to myself, when I say mean things that I'm not attractive or I'm not talented or whatever the self-talk that I have that's negative, I'm a failure, somebody else is going to succeed and I'm not, or whatever that is, it doesn't actually benefit me. It's an external voice that isn't helping, and I need to learn to be kinder to myself. And so I'd love to hear what you do when you find that you have negative self-talk. How do you change that talk to be more positive? And where do you find that you do give yourself very positive feedback? Where do you think that you succeed? Because I think there's multiple areas in life, that they split the world into, or that they split our experience into 9 areas: family, health, the environment, things like that sort of are in sort of a clock shape. And I find that there are certain areas on the clock that I feel really, really good about, I never think about. And then there's other areas of the clock that I'm constantly focusing on and going over and over again. So I would love to hear what you think about that. Thank you guys so much for following along. Next week will actually be posted on Saturday because we're going to be traveling out of town on Thursday and Friday, and I won't get a chance. We're so close to the end. I'm going to need those 3 extra words. So be thinking about that and let me know what you think those words should be. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.